15-year-old hops on steroids and lies about the Eric English.
2024, Joe Biden steps out of the US presidential race, leaving Kamala Harris as the presumptive candidate. Donald J. Trump survives an attempt on his life at one of his rallies. Greg Doucette uploads a Natty or not on Hussein Farhad, deeming it impossible for him to be natural, but which one singular blood test convinced him of the impossible. And 13-year-old Eric English posts a picture on Instagram looking like this. And just a little over 1 year later, this is what he looks like. The kid is on steroids. But let's be real here, okay? Anyone with two brain cells to rub together saw this coming from a mile away. The kid practically got groomed by the industry into becoming a little SARM goblin.
Bro, you know what's crazy? When I was 15, I did not know a little thing about steroids. I knew nothing about steroids. I did not even know. I didn't even know. No. I didn't even know that was even a thing, bro. What the hell?
Between Larry Wheels asking Eric when he plans on hopping on steroids, as if that's a normal question to ask a 14-year-old.
I did become enhanced at 17. Is that something that you're willing to do in the future?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah? Whatever it takes?
Whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes. That's the mindset I had.
YoungLA just jumping at the opportunity to sponsor him and provide him with a direct network of other teenagers on steroids. And then this monstrosity right here, this bloated, watery, juiced up 19-year-old mess, most likely directly...
Why would you even want to look like that? You know, okay, fair enough. If you're doing steroids to even look good, okay, fair enough. But if you're looking like this, mate, then what is the point? Because it doesn't even look nice. It doesn't even look natural, bro. What the hell?
Influencing Eric to hop on gear, it becomes very clear that he stood absolutely no chance from the beginning. The kid got absolutely one-shotted.
Why does it look like Holland?
Let's recap everything from the start. I actually remember Eric coming across my Instagram feed about 2 years ago as a 13-year-old kid getting into fitness. He blew up pretty much overnight because it's not often that you see a little kid hitting lat spreads and stomach vacuums, and credit where credit's due, okay? The kid looked amazing for a 13-year-old. Please don't clip that out of context. Okay, I promise I'm not in any Jeff Nipstein flight logs. But it's true, alright? Look at his physique. Alright, look at the biceps, look at the serratus, look at the vacuum pose. I mean, keep in mind, this kid is 13 years old. Okay, I would have killed to look like this at 13. I mean, come on. 1.7 million likes. And so, as expected, all the usual suspects would be flocking to sponsor this kid, the main one being YoungLA. And it makes sense from a business perspective, right? Eric has a lot of eyes on him. Whether it's okay from an ethical standpoint, though, we'll get into later. But so he gets sponsored by YoungLA fairly early on the 23rd of November 2023. This post by Rising Lifters reads, "This is crazy. 13-year-old Eric English has become the youngest ever YoungLA athlete. Since documenting his incredible fitness journey, he has amassed over 800,000 followers on Instagram, attracting the biggest brands in the industry." Now, due to the sponsorship, he of course immediately starts collabing with big roided up names in the industry, like Eric Janicki, for example, from HDLT Supplements. He's now fully entered the fitness industrial complex, and there's no way back for him. June 6, 2024, a video of him posing gets 271,000 likes. 1 day later, June 7th, 2024, he already starts making steroid jokes. August 15th, 2024, he goes to a YoungLA event and gets to meet some incredible influences, like self-proclaimed steroid gambling and drug addict Togi. 10 days later, he posts a video of him posing alongside Noel Dizel, and you can tell—
Yo, look, I don't condone Togi's content here. I don't condone it. You shouldn't do it, but it is so entertaining to watch. I would actually recommend you lot watch Togi's YouTube channel. The guy's funny.
That Eric is slowly but surely packing on size. Very, very impressive for a 14-year-old. September 18th.
What the hell? What is going on here, bro? What is going on?
Eric appears to have started a pretty significant bulk and is looking a lot fluffier. He's now wanting to put on as much size as possible. October 12th, 2024, Eric goes to the Olympia and gets to meet influencers like Larry Wheels, infamous fake Natty Tristan Lee, and Nick the Mutant Walker. 2nd of January, 2025, his infamous collab with Larry Wheels. We'll circle back to this in a bit. So at this point, start of 2025, this is what Eric now looks like. Very impressive physique. He actually has a good amount of muscle on his frame. He also still appears to be natural here. His progress up until this point seems to be indicative of a young kid that has just recently started puberty and has a passion for working out. But only 6 months later, his comment section on Instagram would blow up with people spamming needle emojis and accusing him of being on steroids. And once you see his 8-month transformation, it all starts to make sense why.
Yeah, allow it.
I mean, come on. It looks like the guy on the left ate the guy on the right. You know how people usually tell you to trust the process when it comes to working out? This kid has skipped the process entirely. This is an insane 6-month transformation. I mean, Eric practically had the entire...
All I want to know, right? What I want to know. Why is my mouse bugging? Wait. Why is he wearing such a tight vest for? Why?
Transformation. I mean, Eric practically had the entire fitness industry shocked. And understandably so, right? One moment he looks like a freshman. 6 months later, he looks like he's repeating senior year for the 5th time. I mean... he must have somehow been able to get his hands on Hussein Farhat's elusive broomstick and ladder workout routine. That's the only way I can make sense of this insane transformation. Genuinely, this is... Shout out to this girl, by the way. Let me just make sure my ass cheeks are front and center while I take a picture with a 15-year-old. Who is this girl? What a surprise.
She loves
entire
steroids
page
as well.
full of gym cell gooner bait. If you actively consume this type of content, you're what's wrong with the fitness industry, okay? Just fully contributing towards the degeneration of this industry. Some of you need to be ashamed of yourself, okay? Genuinely, do better. 1 million likes on this reel. The top comment has over 120,000 likes. I missed a couple of chapters. Look, let's click on a random post, right? This one is from April 2025. And this is what he looks like. And then let's just scroll up a couple of times.
Oh yeah,
This
a
is
lot.
4 months later. A completely different person. Look at the top comment. Every single time he posts, he grows twice in size. 20,000 likes. And of course, his strength just inexplicably skyrockets as well. Here he says that he could bench 315 pounds for multiple reps only a week after benching for the first time. That's 140 kilograms, right? Totally normal. And then of course, only 2 months later, he's hitting 405 pounds on the bench press. That's 180 kilograms.
You know what? I'm not gonna lie to you lot. I feel like I can bench. I can bench this much. If I put the dedication and the education and the dedication to the nation, yeah, I could do this. But you know what I'm worried about? I'm worried about the bar just ripping my arms off. So I'm not even gonna bother. That's the only thing I'm scared about.
Yeah, I mean, come on. To put that into perspective, it can take natural lifters with decent genetics and dedicated bench programming up to a decade to hit 4 plates on the bench press. Some may even never be able to. And Eric does it at age 15 after only 2 months of benching. Right? That's it. As the industry's leading authority on Natty or not, I feel like I've seen more than enough to
Not
pass a
Natty.
verdict here. I've reviewed the evidence. I've consulted the comment section. I have stared at pictures of a shirtless 13-year-old for much longer than I'm comfortable admitting. I mean, seriously, I was doing research for this video and writing this script in a coffee shop. There were people sitting behind me. Do you know how weird I felt? It took me like 10 minutes to realize working on this video in public wasn't my brightest idea and packed my bags to go home. Anywho, I'm digressing. By the power vested in me by absolutely no one, I officially rule this kid a fake natty. Now, as I said at the start of the video, the writing was already on the walls years ago. Of course, any teenager that suddenly finds social media fame for their physique is going to be at an increased risk of hopping on PEDs due to industry pressure. We've seen this happen countless of times. But what sealed the deal for me, what made me confident that it was only going to be a matter of time before Eric would start sipping on the forbidden Capri Sun was that YoungLA sponsorship. And this speaks to a much bigger problem within the industry, especially regarding YoungLA. You see, YoungLA, more so I feel like than most of their competitors, seem to be really focused on capturing as much of that teenage lifter market share as possible. And there's inherently nothing wrong with that, right? There's nothing wrong with catering towards this age group. Teenage lifters, especially online, make up a really big part of this industry. A lot of people, including myself, got into lifting as teenagers. No, the problem lies when you then cede all responsibility in favor of increasing numbers and virality as much as possible, which has led YoungLA to repeatedly sponsor some of the most egregious teenage PED cases in the industry. For example, do you guys remember this kid, Logan Dishman, that 17-year-old YoungLA athlete who claimed he was natty while benching nearly 1,000 pounds, but then exposed himself when he got hospitalized for using a dirty steroid needle, and his heart stopped beating while in the ER, causing him to go on life support. Well, he's still sponsored by YoungLA. They didn't issue a single statement, didn't disavow the abuse of PEDs amongst minors. Instead, they kept him on and continued inviting him to their events. They made it very clear that the only thing they care about is how many
Money.
eyeballs these kids can bring to their brand,
And
which is
money.
already bad enough on its own. But then
And
you take
money.
someone like Eric English, a young, impressionable 14-year-old,
God, he looks like
and they fly
Haaland,
him
bro.
out to those same events so he can intermingle with those older teenagers who are openly abusing performance-enhancing drugs, teenagers who
I'd hate to
YoungLA are
look like that.
directly enabling. Do we really think these dudes are not going to rub off on a 14-year-old? And yet this guy, Logan Dishman, does not even appear to be the main influence in Eric's decision to hop on PEDs. No. That honor belongs to another teenager, also sponsored by YoungLA, also seemingly introduced to Eric through a YoungLA event, who also appears to be throwing everything but the kid.
She looks terrible. Why would you want to look like that? Why? I don't...
Sink at himself when it comes to PEDs. Meet Gentile Lifts. Probably the most obnoxious fitness influencer you'll see in a very long time. He got his break on the internet by injecting himself with copious amounts of steroids and creating what can only be described as some kind of weird niche fetish content. No, I'm not joking, okay? How else are you gonna describe this?
This back exercise is gonna make you squeal
Yeah, allow
like
it.
a pig. Oink, oink, don't be a little pig. Let's go hit some heavy hammer curls. 70 pounds, she couldn't make it 2 rounds. I bent over like she was last night. She was the opposite of tight. The one...
Oh my god, this is so cringe. This is so cringe, you know. I'm so thankful that this content doesn't show up on my For You page. I'm so thankful.
15 flew faster than her cream. Back exercise that will make you scream like a monkey. Make sure to get your potassium in.
Yeah, seems like a normal, well-adjusted fella to me. You'd think surely nobody actually watches this shit, right? Like, it has to be contained to some weird fringe subgroup of gym cells. Nope. 164,000 likes. The irreparable damage Shizzy has done to the fitness industry truly needs to be studied.
Scary 1,000-pound front squat set.
Just a regular healthy 07 kid. So we first see Eric and Gentile meeting up way before he made his insane transformation and before he even started bulking for the first time. This video right here is from August 2024. As expected, they met up at a YoungLA gym, as you can see in the background. They seemingly didn't collab again until right around Eric made his suspicious transformation. But ever since that transformation, it's as if every other reel this guy posts includes Eric in some way, shape, or form. They've gotten very chummy with each other. So right as Eric makes a highly suspicious transformation, he starts hanging out with a teenager that very obviously abuses PEDs. It's not very difficult to see what most likely happened here.
Watch the bulk. Get us massive. Make sure to eat.
Just why? Why would you want to look like this? I understand Eric is bulking with the intention to cut, but this guy Gentile has looked like this for years. Just grotesque. And that steroid moon face is not doing Eric any favors. Even though he's a handsome young man, all that water weight and redness has him looking like... Okay, I'm not gonna say that. That's mean. Fuck it, I'm gonna say it. Looking like John Pork.
The bulk is real. He went from hello, Rick English to Eric. Give me another burger. He added over 100 pounds to his bench in just 4 months, all because of the bulk.
POV, you showed your boy how to bulk. This being obvious code for...
You know what's the worst thing? Imagine being short and being hench like that. You just look fat. Like, you don't look, you know what I mean? It just doesn't look nice on you. I mean, if you're like tall and hench, okay, fine, fair enough. But this guy, he just, I don't know, I don't know, too short. He's short.
You showed your boy how to run a cycle. Okay, this is this guy's entire thing. Gentile's entire brand is just rage baiting everybody by consistently claiming he's natural to farm engagement. And this is just another instance of that, passing off Eric's obvious PED use as quote-unquote just a bulk. Take a look at this comment I found in a Reddit thread about Gentile lifts. I couldn't directly verify these claims myself, so do take them with a pinch of salt. But nonetheless, I figured they were worth mentioning. This commenter basically wrote that Gentile got exposed with some other guys, including Logan Dishman, for being in a quote-unquote we are kids and take PEDs group. He then also claims that there was early footage of Gentile in 2023 that was leaked where he said that he had been on a cycle for a while and that he was gonna claim Natty for jokes and sponsors. I gotta say, it does all sound very in character for these two meatheads. These are the influences in Eric's life. This is why I say that it should have come to no surprise to anyone that was paying attention that Eric would eventually hop on PEDs. This is what YoungLA is promoting. Okay, it should speak to how cooked this industry is, that we can't even expect the bare minimum level of responsibility from one of the largest brands in this space. You know, it's not like we're asking them to build schools in Africa or send humanitarian aid to war zones. Just maybe don't enable steroid use amongst minors. You know, maybe don't sponsor and promote 17-year-olds that take steroids, lie about it, and then get hospitalized due to them. Maybe don't introduce impressionable 14-year-olds to a climate riddled with PEDs. Corrupting the youth just to sell a couple of extra t-shirts is truly an interesting business model, I gotta say. But hey, Batman merch, right everyone? I get to feel like Bruce Wayne on my Demon Winter arc, fueled by weird cuck fantasies. To be truthful, as much as I like to point a finger at YoungLA, they are simply a symptom of a much broader problem. The reason why they enable this stuff is because there's no downside for them in doing so. Because teenage PED use as a whole has just become way too normalized in this industry. It's why Larry Wheels asks a 14...
No, let me give my opinion. You know what? I think these 15, 16, 17-year-old people, boys, kids, whatever, are doing steroids. It's all because of the fame and the money and the views and the likes. Simple as that.